No.
One of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely
It's a
love.
passion project and it shows.
Chromatic.
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 Chromatic. Chromatic.
Chromatic.
One of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely love.
It's a passion project and it shows.
chromatic.
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 Chromatic. Chromatic.
Chromatic.
Okay, so we are back again. And as you can see, we have some more amazing players here. Namely, being Mr. Sushi, also known as Suichi, Giant, Jeffrey, and Jakob. So Jeffrey played before, and he is now playing against C2 Jakob. In fact, Jeffrey started as C10. He already played 2 matches, made it all the way to the top 8 here. Nicely done here by Jeffrey, so let's see how he will be able to perform against Jakob. Will he show us yet another upset? He showed us one earlier against Humanity. So maybe we can get 2 in a row here. Let's see. Mr. Sushi is a big Yoshi fan, and as I said, also known as Shuichi. And once the players are ready to go, we can start the next set of matches here. It looks like they are doing the seeds, meaning making sure that they get the same pieces. The good old SPS, as you know, that we basically use at all CTWC events, just done in different ways. Okay, Nizuna is getting Mr. Sushi and Giant ready. I'm not 100% sure about who is doing roughing at Jeffrey and Jakob's side. Okay, looks like that's gonna be Nizuna as well. So now doing double duty, now that Jakob is no longer playing. Okay, I see thumbs up to start. Top 8! Round 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Let's The players have started. We have only one roller, Jakob. The other three are all Dessers. And Jakob earlier said something along the lines of the only one once he expects we will be able to beat him are Shuichi, known as Mr. Sushi here, and Mark. So let's see if that will stay true. Jeffrey in a bit of trouble. He needs some, doesn't get the bar over early. 1-0 for Jakob. Jakob now at 1-0, which means that it's gonna be a tough situation here for Jeffrey to get this match on his side. But all is still possible. Sushi versus Giant. Tetris for Giant. So Giant now Tetris ahead. Both players at 100% Tetris rate. So yeah, the Tetris point difference so far only has been the line difference. But now Shuichi had to burn a few lines. Whereas Giant still has yet to burn even a single line here. 24 lines deep in. Next Tetris going to Shuichi. Next Tetris going to Giant. Mr. Sushi once again being set up here. And we see the bar into Tetris. 163, 182. Jeffrey and Jakob also have just started. Here's some, let me say, weird band here in the background doing, I believe it's Sonic music. I can't really hear it under the headphones I'm wearing and other stuff for some protection, but yeah, it's always crazy at Gamescom. There's so much stuff happening. And thanks Kingston for mentioning the Mescherino, because if you liked what you see, always feel free to donate to the prize pool. It's 218, 234 in the upper match and 58, 74 in the lower match. So small detail currently to Jakob, but Jeffrey is fully clean compared to Jakob's single hole in the stack. So potentially Jeffrey could get a lead in while Jakob is cleaning up that single hole sometime in the duration of this game. Now Jakob will for sure try to just play as aggressive as possible. At least an 18. So I wouldn't expect him to start touching the hole before 19 unless he gets low enough that it doesn't waste like more than maybe 2 lines. Next set was going to Jakob. Of course, on the other hand, it makes more sense to go on these small things before level 19. Because the higher the level, the more points you waste by not getting a Tetris. Upper match is about 2/3 done of 18 game 1. It is 301 versus 360. Next set is going to Giant, so Giant increasing the lead even more now. 2.5 Tetris lead here to Giant. Well, Jakob's board is getting a bit out of control here, so I mean, Jeffrey can't use the situation to catch up, while Jakob had to burn a few lines here, as Jeffrey also has a tougher situation. Jakob misflips that J piece here, meaning that there is a bit of cleanup that Jakob will have to do. At least a single, maybe a bit more now that he has the bar on the left side. Let's see. Of course, Jakob could also try to go. Okay, he's not trying to go for left rail. A bit of cleanup that Jakob needs to do. Same on Jeffrey's side, so I don't expect points to change too much, or like the point difference to change too much down there. Upper match at about 100 lines. 419, 477, so 2.5 Tetris lead here to Giant. Actually, Jakob clean, and the lead is up to 4.5 Tetrises, so massive lead here to Jakob. Like 100k lead to Jakob. Upper match, only 1.5 Tetrises lead here to Giant. And neither player wants to play too aggressive here, just to avoid accidental top outs due to too aggressive play here before the level 19 transition. Like you want to be clean into 19. That's where you can also see Mr. Sushi focus on cleanup quite a lot here now in his small situation. That is possible to be 3.5 Tetrises behind Giant here. So actually Giant having a massive game here, we can see in the Tetris rate, 76%. That's an amazing rate here for a desk player. 600k is still possible here for Giant. He can burn one single line for that. Okay, yeah, he doesn't get the pieces that he wants, so I expect Giant to transition soon. Yeah, Shuichi topping out at 500k, so Giant winning game 1, and it is now 1-0 here for Giant. And Giant having the incognito L. That was an L, wasn't it, Giant? L, yeah, okay, L, perfect. Just some trolling, you could say. Currently bantering here between these two players. They know each other quite well here, of course. And in the meantime, we have Jeffrey versus Jakob. Jakob now 7.5 Tetrises here of Jeffrey. Jeffrey is in a bit of a dangerous height here, but is getting some nice pieces to burn. And he needs to burn. There's less than 20 lines before level 19, and this side isn't really survivable on level 19 as a desk player. Let's put it that way. Okay, wants a bar now. Bar doesn't arrive exactly when he wants it. Still 8 lines to go here for Jeffrey, and Jeffrey is now in a quite survivable situation here, as you can see. Oh, and of course, for the people on location, if you wonder what we are doing NES Tetris Esport. And if you want to learn more about it, feel free to check out our website, ctgev.de, ctgev.de. And Jeffrey just stopped out here in level 19. I just saw some people here who I haven't seen before took photos. So I made sure to advertise a bit how amazing this community we are. The upper match, we have 69 for Mr. Sushi. We have 70k for Giants, so game 2 is starting quite neck and neck here between these two players. And we have the ready for Jeffrey Jakob match point 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Both players have started, and the first piece already falls down in different ways. So yeah, let's see if Jeffrey will be able to start the reverse sweep here, or if Jakob can just go on and on. Let's find out. Small misstep here on Mr. Sushi's side. While Giant here needs to burn a few lines, so yeah, both players in the upper match just need to burn that bit here. Or were basically open at some points, but then closed the well once again. So yeah, neither player able to go for Tetris using that bar. Giant is not Tetris ready. Mr. Sushi is still cleaning up, so only a triple here for him, which means Giant getting the bar and is now about to Tetris ahead here of Mr. Sushi. Jeffrey versus Jakob is neck and neck here. And the clean openings. And we can see the next Tetris to Jeffrey, so Jeffrey now ahead of Jakob. And we can see the next Tetris for Jakob and one for Jeffrey, so yeah, it's neck and neck. But nearly a Tetris lead here for Jeffrey, so Jeffrey in a nice position considering where he had been in the last 2 games. Whereas Mr. Sushi, once again as a whole here, he has half a Tetris set of Giant, and keep in mind, it's currently 1-0 here for Giant. So Giant is in a bit better position here match-wise. Shuichi, Mr. Sushi high once again here. Getting that bar 1 piece to date, otherwise he would have been able to get a Tetris in. Yeah, now over a Tetris lead here to Giant. Nice position to Giant. As the players are approaching the 2/3 mark of level 18. Next Tetris to Jeffrey, next Tetris to Jakob. It's back to business. 1.5 Tetris lead here going to Jakob. And now up to a 2.5 Tetris lead here to Jakob. More burns here on Jeffrey's side, while the upper match is at about 100 lines now, which means less than 30 lines. About 20 lines still left to go here before level 19. Second time between Mr. Sushi and Giant. Sushi burning a few lines here, while Giant is open once again. A small lead for Mr. Sushi of about 3/4 of a Tetris. Now it does depend on the bar timing for the Giant. If it does fall down before Mr. Sushi, and it does, Mr. Sushi wasn't ready to go for Tetris here. And next Tetris to Giant. The Giant once again ahead of Mr. Sushi. Next Tetris going to Mr. Sushi. Both players looking to be clean here. Close to level 19. Okay, Mr. Sushi wants to transition using a Tetris. Same gonna be the case for Giant. And here's the Tetris for Mr. Sushi. 503 transition and 508 transition. So it is neck and neck between these two players here. In the lower match we had an early shift of that T-piece for Jeffrey, so Jeffrey topping out, and Jakob is able to sweep Jeffrey here. 3-0 for Jakob. Means we can fully focus on Mr. Sushi versus Giant soon. But of course we can also watch Jakob do a bit of 19 or like 219. Okay, no, Jakob is slipping out here after getting that Tetris, which means we only have Mr. Sushi versus Giant here in their game 2, now on level 21. Next set is going to Mr. Sushi. 648, 583, 584 for Giant now. And we can see a bit of a drought, which forces Giant to get really high in the center here after not getting that J-piece to the left, topping out. And same position basically for Mr. Sushi, but Mr. Sushi was able to get it in points here, and that means it's now 1-1 between Mr. Sushi and Giant. And they get one more thumbs up, so start the game 3 in 3. Actually, wait, let's wait a second for the refs to make sure that everything is noted down properly. Okay, this now will start actually the game 3 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! As you can also see at the bottom right, we are sponsored by the mod Retro Chromatic, so feel free to check them out. As well as, of course, do !Matcherino to get our prize pool link and support these players a bit. You can donate and maybe even some pause. Not fully sure if we have them this year. Here we can see both players opened with a Tetris here. Shuichi once again got 12 pushdown points. 48, 71, basically one Tetris lead here to Giant. And yeah, here's the 12 points lead on Shuichi's side that we just saw. So we will see at least this game and one more game before the end of this match. So 186, 130, about 50k lead here to Mr. Sushi. Mr. Sushi in a nice position. We also just adjusted the Tetris sound, so it should now be much better here. Next set was going to Mr. Sushi. 259, 185. So about a 3-4 Tetris lead here now to Mr. Sushi. So, about half of 18 is done, and we can see 3 Tetris and some change lead to Mr. Sushi. So Mr. Sushi in a nice position here against Giant in game 3. And whoever wins this is gonna have quite the mental advantage for game 4. So let's see if we... You can see a nice long game 3. I want these players to go all the way to level 29, of course, maybe even to level 30, which is quite unlikely, but never say never. Next set is here going to Giant, Mr. Sushi. Oh, it's not Mr. Sushi, it's Mr. Sushi. Oh, I always said Sushi because it was like Sushi makes so much more sense, but no, it's Mr. Sushi. Oh, that's so funny. I apologize, Mr. Sushi, that I mispronounced your name, but I got a thumbs up. Okay, then it doesn't matter too much. Perfect. 468, 397. And we have a small drought now happening, as we can see on Mr. Sushi's side, which is now over. And here's the Tetris to Mr. Sushi. 517, 400. And Giant in a quite a position, but he does get a bar, so he's able to open this up for now. But he closed it. So wasn't able to get a Tetris using this bar. Is burning a few lines here now. Mr. Sushi in the meantime opening up once again. Ready for the next bar, for the next Tetris to increase his lead even further. As we are just before level 19 here. Here we can see next Tetris going to Giant, 453 against 567. So about a 5 Tetris lead here to Mr. Sushi. And next set is going to Mr. Sushi as well. And one more to Giant. Next set is to Mr. Sushi once again here, transitioning at 615. So amazing transition here for Mr. Sushi. The Giant at 526, which is also quite a good transition here for a desk player. But yeah, Mr. Sushi has a realistic shot at getting a max out here, which would simply be amazing. Bird a bit here to get a safe 19 in. You know, At the beginning of 19, you sometimes just want to play clean a bit in order to make sure that you have your muscle memory down. Getting a small tuck in as well. Now some burns here. While Giant needs to find a way to get Tetrises that Mr. Sushi doesn't get. But Mr. Giant doesn't get the pieces when he needs them the most. Sushi in the meantime also not able to go for Tetrises. So yeah, these players were able to survive the 19 transition, but weren't able to go for Tetrises. And we can see a 20 plus piece route here, Tetris going to Mr. Sushi. So Giant knows the bar is coming soon, Tetris to Giant, but misdropped that L piece to the left, didn't have full death charge on it, which puts him now in a bit of a tougher situation here, but he was able to get a few burns in, so he is now getting lower in his stack once again. And we can see him near the open once again, but Mr. Sushi was able to increase the lead to about 6 Tetrises now. 802 versus 623, now up to 833. So over a 200k lead here for Mr. Sushi. Really high score here for Mr. Sushi. Getting some more small burns in. Set up for G-spin. Does he get the T-piece in time? No, he doesn't, so instead he uses the S-piece for the spin, which works out similarly well. Giant tops out here at 631, and that means we have Mr. Sushi being 2-1, and next up is match point for Mr. Sushi. Still trying to go for the max out. We are on level 26, only 26, 27, 28 realistically left to go. So of course we're gonna give Mr. Sushi the shot at the max out here. Would be his first max out at the CTWC Gamescom event. So of course we want him to get it. It's only 2 more Tetrises that he needs to get, or Tetris and the burns. So realistically only one more Tetris that he needs to go. And then of course good burns. Okay, he's going for the Tetris. He has the Tetris 9 and 94. And then just, you know, that bit of singling here. But he doesn't get the pieces that he wants, so it's getting a bit higher. Double. And that's not quite it. Wow. Okay, now he does. Perfect. So, Mr. Sushi securing the max out and 2-1 GG's. So, next up is the match point for Mr. Sushi. He only needs to win one more game in order to win the match and be in the top 4 of the CTWC Gamescom 2025 edition. Looks like Mr. Sushi is taking a small break here. Probably a toilet break is my guess, but I don't know for sure. Okay. That means we have a short break, but we are waiting for Mr. Sushi to be back.
one of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely
It's a
love.
passion project and it shows.
Chromatic.
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 Okay, now that Mr. Sushi is back, let's start. Match point for Mr. Sushi here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! And the game has started. Same opening here for these players again. There's players here, so level 18 is their time to shine, their time to show us their efficiency. But Giant simply jumping out, which means Suichi, Mr. Sushi, takes game 4 in quite the uneventful way, and we have 3-1 Mr. Sushi in the top 8. Next up, playing against Jakob. We already saw the bracket a bit ago. So let's have a quick look at the top 8, at the final part, basically, of the CTWC Gamescom. We have Mark, Teen Rain, Mr. Sushi, and Jakob. From now on, we will only have a one match at a time situation, so these players will play now and only. That doesn't make any sense, that bro. The players who will be playing now are Mark and Teen Rain, so next up we will have Mark versus T in Rain. To make sure that I have the schedule correct in my head. Yes, that is what we do. We have Mark versus T in Rain. So if you wanna get ready, feel free to sit down. I can already see Mark getting here. Teen Rain is, you could say, lost in the abyss. We have no idea. Ah, okay, I can see Teen Rain here. Perfect. So Teen Rain is playing now. Looks like he was just listening to some music, charging his phone, stuff like that. Normal stuff you just need to do. He's getting his stuff from over here. So let's see at which matchup they will sit down. You are...
Drüben sitzen? Ja. Bisschen besseres Bild. Okay. Ist mir aber komplett egal, wenn ihr gerade überspielen wollt, dann spielt auch. Was? Ja, dann spielt da. Ding, das passt. Das ist wie eine Kamera, mit der man ist egal, ich spiele dann einfach verlieren.
I just had to communicate with the players a bit about where we're gonna play. So let's see if all worked as expected. Looks like it did. So let's change over to them. We have G and Rain versus Mark. And also looks like these players are now warming up. We have Rizuna doing some, I don't know, talking to Mark here. I believe they are friends, so they do know each other here a bit at least. Yeah, while these players are getting ready, I can tell you a bit about our sponsors. Of course, you have the main sponsor, Mod Retro, who, as you know, does, for example, the Mod Retro Chromatic, basically the best way to play Game Boy nowadays. Then we also have My Arcade, who does a few modern, small arcade systems for on the go. These are, I guess, the main ones. And then we have our partner, the Game History Museum, as well as, of course, Gamescom, who we named the tournament after. And of course, we have you, our viewers, because in the top right you can see the $50 and type in exclamation mark Bashirina for your support. And 4 saying, I was considering going to Gamescom as a voice actor. I didn't know CTWC would be there. Maybe I go to see them next year. We have the CTWC Gamescom, so the Gamescom regional, every year on Saturday. So you can be sure that CTWC Gamescom will be happening in 2026 on Saturday again. That's basically guaranteed at this point. So if you wanna come to Gamescom and enjoy some amazing Tetris, now you know when and where. Yeah, so whenever these players are ready, we can start. We can see Tien Rain doing a bit of level 29 action here. The Mark is getting his controller ready, just slowly but surely warming up. As you have Seed 1 versus Seed 4 here. So now we also adjusted the camera a bit so that we can see both players nicely here. And here Mark is getting his headphones ready, or like earphones of course I should say, so that nothing can disrupt him while he is playing here in the top 4. He made it to the top 25% you could say at CTWC Gamescom. And he now wants to show us that he can win. The winner does get 500 euros to attend CTWC in the United States. And we know that that's what Mark wants to do. Mark wants to show the world how amazing of a Tetris player he is. So he wants to win here and then make it big at the CTWC World Championship, Open World Championship I should say, in the United States. As you know, we have 2 World Championships in Tetris, being CTWC open for any playstyle and CTWC DES being open for the DES playstyle. And then we have many different regionals. Most of course being for the open CTWC, like CTWC Gamescom for example, what we have here. But we also have the Jonas Cup, which is a regional in the United States for the CTWC DES. Let's see how the players are doing. I mean, me and Mark hasn't played a single piece here, where we are just, I believe in English you nowadays say yapping a bit. I'm still used to words like chit-chatting, for example. But yeah, that's no longer what the fancy word is. The fancy word, I believe, is now yapping. And yeah, we can see Mark now doing a bit of level 29 action here as well. Of course, 29 is the fastest speed that you can go on NDS Tetris. You also have the double kill screen, which happens at level 39, I believe. So level 39, the speed does double once again. But that's more meant as a, hey, the game is now over way, and not, let's play this. Mark is also changing his glove, making sure that he's a glove that works the best. Of course, both of these players are rolling, which is why you can see both of them wearing a glove. And rolling basically just means that you push the buttons from the bottom into your movement finger, so that you can just get up to like 30 Hertz of inputs, so moving the pieces as quickly as the game does physically allow you. Any quicker and the game would have to be modded. I see thumbs up, so let's start the next game here. It's a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Yeah, just also to mention these players who are now playing. And I want to give a huge shout out to them. Mark for organizing many of the German events, and T and Ray for being one of our main tech guys in terms of streaming. So here in the German community, they are quite important, so huge shout out to these two. And now let's focus on the match on these two games here. Tetris for Team Rain, Tetris for Mark, 36 and 69. Hey now. They're basically quite clean openings. Both players are able to avoid burns quite well here, as we see Tetris and Tetris, which basically just means getting the 4 line clear, the most amount of points possible. Getting a Tetris is worth 20 times as much as getting a single, or as you play 4 lines. Basically is 6 times more efficient than playing singles. So always what you wanna do, and we also have a bit for Mark, just tugging, moving the piece under that overhang, making sure to play cleanly and efficiently. Is quite aggressive of a play, but does work out nicely quite often, just as it did here. Next Tetris here going to these players, as you have about a 3/4 Tetris lead here to Mark, 173, 191. And Mark is ready for one more Tetris, getting the bar. Here's the Tetris. Of course, we are on level 18, which means, yeah, this is not that quick for these rollers. Generally speaking, they can do this kind of stuff somewhat easily, at least. And next Witz just happened here for Mark again. Yeah, Mark does like his Witzes. Again, it's a way to play more efficiently than otherwise. That's why Mark is one of those who likes to do that kind of stuff. Both players are having some small holes in the stack, which means they need to find a way to clean them up as efficiently as possible. Mark is open, has about a 2 Tetris lead near the over TN Rain here. Has played a few more lines, so we take that into consideration, as TN Rain just showed us. It's more like a 0.75 Tetris lead here to Mark, which is still nice to have, but it's not really any lead where you can be like, yeah, I'm ahead of my opponent. It's more like a neck and neck, as we like to say. As in, whoever gets the Tetris, or if the opponent gets the Tetris before you, then the opponent is in the lead. Here we know about 80 lines done, which is about 2/3 of level 18. And it's still neck and neck between these players. Now, Tien Rain has a tiny bit of lead here over Mark. As I said, neck and neck. This kind of lead doesn't really mean much. Okay, but Mark just set up for triple, delay triple. Nicely done here for Mark. Into Tetris. So now Mark barely ahead of Tien Rain, having quite a few lines more. But Tien Rain also misdropped that TPC here, which means there's gonna have to be at least a single burn. Looks like it's for now a single burn, having the bar dependency here, bar dependency turned into a closed well, and one more single burn. So yeah, that's kind of what happens. It's like you start at a single burn, and then like 2 or 3 more just happen. That's just what NES Tetris is like quite often. 437, 440. Neck and neck, close and close. And we have a bit of a drought happening on Tien Rain's side currently. Tetris just arrived for Tien Rain though. And the same on Mark's side, small drought into Tetris. And one more Tetris here to Tien Rain as well. As you have a 49 against 466. So yeah, about a 1 Tetris lead here going to Mark. Oh, small misstep here of Tien Rain's side. Didn't spin the piece the way that he wanted to spin it. And he has one more Tetris to Mark. Yeah, 513, 497. Small lead here for Tien Rain that might change depending on how aggressive Mark can play here compared to Tien Rain. As we are just a few lines away from the transition, Tetris to Mark. Mark now ahead of Tien Rain. Tien Rain transitioning at 540. Yeah, Mark has played a few lines less, which is why he has yet to transition. So 564, 544. Actually, in the transition, it's neck and neck, tiny lead here for Mark. But Tien Rain was able to get one Tetris after the transition. One more after the transition, next Tetris here going to Mark. And you can see slight lead here for Tien Rain, even if we take the lines into consideration. But Tien Rain does need to burn here, which may allow Mark to get a lead in against Tien Rain here. As Tien Rain is in the process of opening up his well, he doesn't get the JPs fully over to the left. Missed the 4th tap here. And that means some more burns for Tien Rain to do. But Mark is able to stay clean so far. We have a 20+ piece drought here currently on Mark's side. Does get the bar into Tetris. So it's now neck and neck in terms of points, which means Mark has quite a nice pace lead as he has played 6 lines less, and we can see that now having transformed into about a Tetris lead here against Mark. And next Tetris here going to Tien Rain. Mark's board being a bit troublesome now. He is high, needs to clean this up. And yeah, he's starting with it now. Just a few more lines more to go here on Mark's side. Tien Rain also currently closed. As about a Tetris lead where Mark has played a few lines less, and both players need to burn this. Okay, Mark is open. Tien Rain doesn't get the blue Z piece fully over to the left, which means he is quite high, needs to clean the mess up. Okay, he's getting a few good skims here. Tien Rain is showing us the kind of survival that he needs to show us. Oh, the misdrops pieces here for Tien Rain. Not misdropping, just the pieces that you want. Okay, but he is managing here. He wants something for Scudam 2. He closes it. Oh no, that J piece into S piece for Tien Rain, which means Tien Rain is now topping out, and Mark takes game number 1. So nice position here for Mark, showing what he can do in game 1. Stay close to Tien Rain all the way, and managed to overtake Team Rain by survival and a bit more aggression. And that means the players are ready for Game 2. So let's start Game 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. No downtime. These players just have energy and wanna go and mark. Did some music stuff and didn't realize that he was playing, so let's see if the ref is like this is okay or if the ref is like that's an unfair advantage. They are talking a bit over there. I'm not the referee, so I don't have to decide that kind of stuff, luckily. It's all up to them over there. Them meaning Nizuna and Jakob. But looks like it's not gonna be an issue here. So yeah, we have a bit of an earlier start here for T and Rain, or a bit of a delayed start for Mark. Which means T and Rain will most likely always play about a Tetris more. And welcome in the chat, Toka saying hi, Jakob and Jakob or Jacob, depending how you want to pronounce it. Both is totally fine with me. Small mistop of that JPC on T and Rain side. Didn't go fully over. It's only gonna require a bit of burning, but as you can see, escalating into a bit more burning now. Especially in this drought situation, not really what you wanna have. But got open just before the bar. So Tetris to T and Rain, and also Tetris to Mark, and one more to Mark. And we can see same lines, and half a single lead to Mark. So nice position for Mark, being able to, you know, be that bit ahead of T and Rain here. Especially as both of these players have been playing quite efficient Tetris. We can see that in the Tetris right. Oh, actually T and Rain needed to burn a bit more than Mark now, like noticeably more, which is why his Tetris rate is like 10% lower than Mark's. But as you know, that only means so much here when you're not even halfway done at level 18. Okay, so far looks like Mark has quite the nice opening. It's basically where you wanna be it for a decent game, you know, 200k, 50 lines. Yep, that's decent here for Mark. T and Rain is a bit behind, but it's only like 3/4 of the Tetris difference, so yeah, it's really quite close between these two players, just small differences here and there. Next set is going to T and Rain, next set is to Mark, and one more to T and Rain as well, and one more to Mark as well. So yeah, we're getting close to the halfway point, and we can see basically neck and neck here, but T and Rain missing the spin here of that Z piece on the left side. Which means a bit of burning that T and Rain needs to do here. Mark is getting the bar and Tetris to Mark. 291 for Mark, 235 for T and Rain. And we have a bit of burning on T and Rain side. Needs a bar for column 5. Maybe he's trying to set up for dirty. No, he is definitely no longer trying to set up for dirty here. Ooh, but T and Rain's spot is somewhat escalating. He needs something for the left side. Okay, he's getting a single in. One more skim setup on the left side. Nice. Next L piece into perfect pieces here for T and Rain. Now what's the bar? And just get a nice dirty Tetris for T and Rain. Well done here. Showing us good survival at high 18. And Mark used that to get ahead by about 4 Tetrises against T and Rain, so nearly a 100k lead here for Mark. Well, T and Rain's board still not looking that good here, still quite high, needs to, yep, as you can see, just burn a few lines here and there before being open once again. Only can go for a triple here, needs to clean this up or set up a triple into one high. And he's trying to clean this up, which just takes quite a long time. We can now see 7.5 Tetris lead to Mark, or 170k here Tetris lead to Mark. Just massive lead. Small burns here on T and Rain's side. And being Now, able to go for the standard well once again. Zero height, right well. Exactly what you wanna do in NES Tetris. Mark now needs to win a few lines here. And you have a bit of a drought situation here, but Mark got it. And yeah, we are close to level 19, 326, 513. So nearly an 8 Tetris or 200k lead here to Mark. Actually, it could be a 200k transition lead depending on how TN Rain's board evolves. But this is not something where TN Rain can comfortably transition. 541, 332, yeah, over 200k lead here from Mark. TN Rain can survive this in theory, but that's not the height you wanna be at when you go to level 19. You can definitely see that missing that flip here off that bar on TN Rain's side. Topping out, and that means Mark takes game number 2. And we once again have a friendly fist bump here between these two players. And I expect also the next ready here in just a few seconds. Looks like the players are ready to go. Let's see if I can get any confirmation by our ref. Okay, it looks like we can, so... Can we start? Okay, we can start. So 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Match point for Mark. If Mark wins this game, he will have swapped TN Rain, which would be somewhat unexpected, but you know, stuff always can happen. Yeah, after this match we have a second match in the top 4 between Mr. Sushi, also known as Shuichi, and Jakob. And after that, the finals. So definitely keep watching online, and for the YouTube watchers later, definitely tune in when the next matches happen. Tetris going to Mark here, while TN Rain is cleaning this up a bit. So yeah, about a Tetris lead here to Mark, a bit less. TN Rain is now opening up his well here. Is opened once again, where Mark got in one more Tetris, which means now have a 1.7 Tetris lead to Mark. Or if we take the lines into consideration, about a Tetris lead here to Mark, as both players get a Tetris, but TN Rain has played a few lines more, as you can see. 104, 144. Next Tetris is going to TN Rain once again here. Now to 127, also, yeah, 144 for Mark. Mark is now waiting for the bar here. Believe he should have a route counter soon, but no, the game instead decides to give us that bar. Nice. Small mishap here of that Japes and TN Rain's side didn't get it fully over. And that now means 174, 172. So quite close here between these players at about 50 lines, and both players more or less where you want to be at points. Yeah, TN Rain is once again a bit behind, but it's not that much. It's once again just a bit. Mark in a bit of trouble here, but just get the next pieces over to the left. I would say this is definitely possible for Mark to survive. He has shown us what he can do. Oh, and so good pieces here for Mark. So nice survival. Yeah, just getting single after single after single. This is exactly what Mark needs to do here. Amazing pieces here for Mark, as he is now opened once again. Nice survival. 304 to 66, which means about a 1.5 Tetris lead here to T and Rain. As we are 99s, which means level 19 is not too far away. And the 19 that we have seen of Mark so far today definitely looked a bit more impressive than the 19 of T and Rain. Next set is going to T and Rain here. And here's one more Tetris to T and Rain. We have 374, 357. A bit more burning here on T and Rain side as he just closed the well. Mark is not quite ready for the Tetris when the bar fell down. So he can't really get closer to T and Rain here. As you can see, if we take that into consideration, it's like a 2 Tetris play seat here currently for T and Rain. Yeah, especially as Mark once again can't use these bars. But he gets the S-pin. Well done by Mark. Next Tetris to Mark, now at 413 versus 406. And here's the next set was going to Mark into 19, 443. T and Rain is quite high here, still has 7 lines to go, so he could be able to get out of this situation before level 19, or at least mostly get out of this situation. Let's see. 3 lines to go. Yeah, this side is not where you want to be at 19. Ooh, the bars to the left and the right. Left side basically inaccessible for T and Rain, which means top out and sweep for Mark. Mark manages to sweep T and Rain here. And that means 3-0. Mark is in the semifinals. And that means only 2 more matches left to go. Next up, if you look at the bracket, you can see we have the second semifinals coming up. And that is Mr. Sushi versus Jakob. The last remaining desk player, Mr. Sushi, against the Roder Jakob. This is definitely a match you should turn into.
One of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely
It's a
love.
passion project and it shows.
Chromatic.
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 And we are now back after this nice short trailer by Moderetro. Of course, please check them out and make sure to buy one of their consoles, as they are quite nice. And you can also get one of their what are they called again? Link cables. To get one of the link cables, then you can also play against each other using the NES Game Boy Tetris. It looks like we're gonna do a quick transition over to me, so welcome to the not quite behind the scenes, but the host game here at CTWC Gamescom. I believe you can now see me for the first time here, live at least on Twitch and YouTube. Of course, the people on location always had the pleasure to see and hear me live. As I just said, only 2 more matches to go. Basically, only 3 people left in the tournament. 1 in the top 4, 1 already in the finals. That I would say. Players are sitting. Let's take a look at them and of course also fix the current shown match. It should now be correct. Ah, nearly. And now it is. On the left side, Mr. Sushi. Against, on the right side, Yako. See, of course, these players that are storming up a bit, getting their dash and the rolling under control, so that whenever they are ready, they can play the best Tetris of their life. Or at least of this weekend. As we have Sushi, Jakob, Semifinals. So let's see when the players are ready. Once they are, we can start the match. Of course, they're just showing up a bit for now. Which is what we expect here. Yeah, I believe we will also have a short break after the semifinals, just so that the players, or like the player who wins this, can relax a bit before facing Mark against the finals. How long the break will be exactly is gonna be somewhat determined by the players, but we aim for starting the finals at about, I believe it was actually 17:30, which means like an hour break potentially. I guess we won't do it that long, but at least a bit we will do. So it looks like the players are getting ready here, which means we should be able to start the second semifinals And hopefully not too much more. I can see that one player looks ready, one is still warming up here a bit. I believe Shuchi is still warming up a bit here. Sorry, Mr. Shushi, of course. He should have named himself Mr. Oh, it's Shuchi and Yoshi. Oh, now I understand it. That took me far too long. But yeah, it's Mr. Shuichi Yoshi, Mr. Shushi, Mr. Shoshi. I don't know. But I finally understood it, like 5 hours after I saw it for the first time. Wow. I'm totally smart, guys. I'm totally smart. But yeah, it looks like the players are now making sure that our SPS is set up the way that we want it. And that means fist bump, ready, 3, 2, 1, Tetris! And the game has started. Shuichi adjusting for the T-spin, but then getting the 2B spin instead, which of course isn't what you want, and allows Jakob to get a Tetris lead here in the beginning against Shushi. Next Tetris to Shushi, next Tetris to Jakob. And yeah, both players here just playing a bit. 18, of course, is manageable for both players. The huge advantage that Jakob has against Shushi will show on level 19 and, of course, level 29 if we ever get there. It's always a bit questionable if we will get up until level 39 and 29. But who knows, maybe these players can show this to us. Nice, too high center world Tetris to Shushi. As you have about a 2.5 Tetris lead going to Jakob, and Weisbrot in the chat saying, let's go Shushi boy. But Shushi missed up the bar just when I look at the chat, which means Shushi topped out at 99k and Jakob takes game number 1. It is 1-0 for Jakob, which means already a nice start here. And with a huge donation, thanks for that, up to $100. Woo! And you can see Jakob, yeah, being quite excited about that. And with that excitement, we can start game 2. It's a 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Game 2 has just started. And once again, Shushi getting exactly 12 pushdown points. I love how he's managing to always get 12. It's never 11 or 13, always exactly 12. That does require quite a lot of precision. And looks like Jakob is also trying to go for 12 pushdown points, but he got 15 instead, so mission failed. And someone in the chat also saying, let's go Shushi boy. So Mr. Shushi now has 2 people chanting for him in the specifically Twitch chat. So he now needs to win to show them what he can achieve. Next set is going to Jakob. Jakob at 77 versus 92 for Shushi, which means about a 3/4 of a Tetris lead here going to Shushi. Let's hope that game number 2 will be a bit longer than game number 1. And when I say a bit, I mean like 200 lines longer. That's exactly what I hope for, at least. Next set is here now going to Jakob. Jakob at 123 versus 122 for Mr. Shushi. Meaning we are just quite neck and neck. And Neo asking, Aren't they playing the same seed? Yes, they are. Why are you asking? It's SPS that we use here, so both players have exactly the same pieces, which means it's as fair as possible. And Neil also saying, let's go, Jakob, by the way, want to get some balance, so we have balance. So we have 2 people charting for Sushi and 1 charting for Jakob. Yeah, Jakob is playing quite well so far, Sushi is playing quite well so far. Both are at about 200k, just before 59, so quite nice opening here for these players. As Jakob is getting the next Tetris, and so is Sushi. Oh, and Summer is now changing. Let's go both players. So now it's 2 and 2, as Summer just changed from only supporting Sushi to supporting both. And Sophia is saying, let's go. I hope everyone just has fun. And that's the spirit that we need. You play Tetris for fun. Yes, there's a lot of competitive action involved as well. But if you don't have fun, you shouldn't play it. So thanks for the positive words to Sophia. Oh, and Summer clarifying. I wasn't only rooting for Sushi, I just thought it was a funny line. I always root for all the players to do well and have fun. Yeah, exactly. That's the spirit that I love about the community. But I still miss some friendly bantering here and there. But back to the game. 291, 319. So have about a 28k lead here to Jakob. Or just over Tetris. Jakob now getting a bit higher here. Needs to clean up a few lines. And I expect he will be able to do so nicely. He has now opened for a center well. Had to close the center well before the bar. He's gonna need the bar for the right side now. Please give Jakob a bar. Bar to Jakob. He does get the bar over. Nice, amazing dirty Tetris here. Going to Jakob. Jakob, therefore, now at 350 versus 344. Jakob is setting up for the next Tetris, which Sushi just got. And as we can see, Sushi is ahead of Jakob both in terms of points and pace. So quite a nice situation for Sushi to be in. While Jakob will have to show us what he can do on level 19. As we know, 19 is going to be quite playable for a roller like Jakob. Whereas Sushi might have more challenging situations. And Dio, no, only one person is rolling, being Jakob and actually Kingsman, saying Fencer, amazing, Jakob's rolling, dude behind him is trying to mimic it, the dude behind him is our ref. Small fun fact. So I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, we're only about 10 nights away from the transition, so let's fully focus on the games as level 19 is coming up here. Jakob, a bit high but clean. Sushi, quite nice and low and clean as well. So we should be able to see 2 good level 19 transition. Oh, and Klingsman saying, no, there was a fan around there before. Then I didn't see him. I apologize for that. Next set is going to Mr. Sushi. 4 lines for Sushi. And Jakob transitioning at 585. 585 for Jakob. 600 for Sushi. Amazing transition for our pace guy Sushi, as you don't know. Shuichi, who is here known as Sushi, is also known as the pace person in the PAL Death events, as he oftentimes has amazing death paces, but once again gets a 2v spin in. So 2v spin is when you don't get the spin that you want. Basically, you don't get the spin. Sushi's board now being quite troublesome. Once bar for the center, he does get the bar, but was that in time? The left side on Sushi's side is in a bit of danger. Early shift of that O piece or perfect adjustment, not fully sure, but the J piece didn't spin it. So Sushi tops out and Jakob wins game 2, which means we now have 2-0 for Jakob. And next up, it's this match point for Jakob. And yes, Neo, Sushi is playing Death. Jakob was showing us some more survival here on level 19. But is topping out as well, I believe. Let's see. I don't want to jinx him. Nice burns by Jakob. Whoa, this is such amazing rolling survival that Jakob is showing us here. Just proving why rolling is so strong. Next up is match point for Jakob. And if Jakob wins that, it means we have Mark versus Jakob in the finals at the CTWC Gamescom 2025 edition. And here's a thumbs up. So let's start game 3 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Sushi has started. Jakob has started. Once again, Sushi going for a signature 12 pushdown points. Let's see how this game will go. As I said, match point, so whoever wins this is in the finals against Mark, our current first finalist. Okay, so next set is both of these players. We can see about a 3.5 Tetris lead here going to Jakob. So Jakob is in a nice early lead here against Sushi. And Sushi really needs to find a way to catch up to Jakob. And actually, a small fun fact, I heard that Jakob and Sushi played a match against each other here already. That was like 3-2 for Jakob. So there's still a chance for Sushi to just start the reverse sweep here. Next set is to Jakob. Jakob now 4.5 Tetris is ahead of Sushi. Next set is going to Sushi, so 130 against 206, 229 now. And LJ depends here and cut him 3 quite high for Sushi, but is able to get a Tetris, and so is now in pretty nice height once again. Also fixed the dependency. As we now have 156 and 253. So basically 100 KD tier to Jakob, who just got one more Tetris in. Yeah. Quite nice games here now that the beginning is over, where Sushi had a bit of trouble. But talking about trouble, wow, this is a board here for Sushi. He now wants something for his column 3. A bar would be perfect. The bar does fall down. It does go where it needs to go. LJ dependency set up for a delayed burn, which did work out perfectly. And Sushi is near the open once again, showing us what kind of survival he can do here at level 18 speeds. In general, just amazing dash action that he is showing us. Some burns happening once again. Sushi side, but he doesn't get the red Z piece over to the left, which means Sushi tops out. And we have Jakob taking game 3, 3-0, sweeping against Sushi here. And that means there's just one more match to go. Let's take a look at the bracket here. As you can see, one match. Mark versus Jakob. Rolling versus rolling. And with that, I'd say we're gonna have a break until 16:30. So about a 10-minute break here that we will have. So see you again in about 10 minutes.
One of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely
It's a
love.
passion project and it shows.
Chromatic.
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 Small update, we're gonna have a break until 17:00 or 15 local time, so it's gonna be about half an hour until we will have the finals between Mark and Jakob.
one of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely
It's a
love.
passion project and it shows.
Chromatic.
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 one of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely love.
It's a passion project and it shows.
chromatic.
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 One of the best retro handhelds of the
New
year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely love.
It's a passion project and it shows.
chromatic.
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 And with that, welcome back to CTWC Gamescom. And huge thanks to the performance. Actually, this is like, I saw people being like, shoutouts to Grandpa from Bavaria. He's Japanese. So shoutouts to the Grandpa from Japan. In fact, just a small fun fact. But yeah, as you can see here, next up is the finals between Nark and Jakob, the two best players here at CTWC Gamescom, as you can see. And as you can also see, we have our main sponsor, Mod Retro, here. Mod Retro, as you know, does some amazing modern Game Boys and also nowadays link cables, so check out Mod Retro and their Mod Retro Chromatic. And other than that, yeah, we've had a nice day here of Tetris action already happening, and it was just an amazing time that we had. And I guess we can take a look at the players here, which is, as you can see, of course, Mr. Sushi versus Jakub, or as I should actually say, it is... What the... I don't understand. This is funny. Let's just try the new 4-1. That would make sense. Ah, yeah, that's it. So now we have the players here being Jakub on the left versus Mark on the right side. Two amazing rollers, arguably the two best rollers here in Germany. And once they are ready to play, we can start the match. That means, of course, getting the seats ready and getting their thumbs ups. Thumbs ups, yeah, that's correct English. And welcome in the chat to Jelena just in time for the finals at CTWC Gamescom between Jakub and Mark. At the back we have Nizuna, making sure that the seats are correct. And we also have Vicky a bit in the frame here, for example. And I get a thumbs up, so let's start the finals between Jakub and Mark in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Roda versus Roda. So this could be a nice long match. We could see 5 times up to level 39 as you play best of 5, and 39 is when the double kill screen happens. So 18 is 139s, 19 is 109s, 29 is 109s. And yeah, that means a ton of amazing Tetris action. The aggression of 18, the balance of aggression, and some survival of 19. And trying to find a way to get Tetrises on level 29. This is the first burn that Mark is taking here after 12 lines. Jakub also took a burn, but Mark needs to burn a bit more in the opening, which does give, potentially at least, a quick advantage to Jakub, depending on if Jakub can set up for the Tetris and he does get the burn time perfect. So Jakub is now about 3/4 of a Tetris ahead of Mark here. Nice T adjustment here from Mark for the burn to get open here. Getting the bar Tetris to Mark. Now maybe going for the center. Now is cleaning this up, going for the most efficient way of playing Tetris here. Oh well, most efficient, most safe, all of that at once. Also next Tetris is happening. Jakub is about 2.5 Tetrises ahead of Mark. Mark is getting his own next Tetris here. So yeah, the opening of 18 is basically what we expect. Meaning, quite safe, a bit of aggression. And, I mean, the bit of aggression is just because, as a roller, there's not really differentiating between aggression and playing normal, so that's why at least in 18 that's the case. So at least in 18 it's normally like, yeah, they just play. At least according to a few I spoke to. Could always change, of course, or like change depending on the player as well. Yeah, that's just the general gist of what's happening here. Two amazing rollers rolling against each other, trying to get any kind of reasonable lead into level 19 and to then hopefully put some pressure on their opponent on level 19. These two have also faced off a few times against each other before, which means they know each other, they know their weaknesses and strengths, and they know that both of them definitely has what it takes to win here. As Mark is going for the wits here, delayed With Mark. And Tetris's have just happened as well. V48, V34. Some nice adjustments here on Jakob's side. Okay. Needs to burn a few lines here. Kept it down to a minimum. Perfect. Mark also needs to burn a few lines here. Got an L piece, which means he needs to burn a few more lines here now. Or plays aggressive. Okay, he doesn't play that aggressive. And is now one high at the bottom. Let's see if Mark will play one high or if he is trying to clean this up. And yeah, looks like Mark is trying to play this quite safe. Basically, with setup here on Jakob's side, he does go for the Tetris first. And instead does some SP stacks. SP stacks on Jakob's side. Quite nice here. And in the chat saying, good luck to Jakob and Mark. So both players are getting charted on. Charted for. So 464, 390, 75k lead here. As Mark is once again a bit of a burning situation here. Mark qualified as seed number 1, which means he got 4 max outs in the qualification session, whereas Jakob only got 2 max outs. Max outs is the maximum score cap in an unmodded version of Tetris, which is 999,999. Or basically a million, but due to us using Nessus gems, we can calculate infinitely high, basically. Yeah. And Jakob, I see still 88% Tetris rate. This is such an impressive game number 1 here by Jakob. Yeah, you can see 557. 20 lines to go. That basically means Jakob got to get a 650 transition. 650 transition would be so amazing and would put so much pressure here on Mark in game number 1. Yeah, still 4 Tetrises in the theory for Jakob to go. Okay, he's adjusting for the bar, nice. Is getting the D piece adjusted for the upcoming J piece. And is now just waiting for the next bar for Tetris. Is taking the safety triple here, perfect. One more Tetris to Jakob 631. Like Mark's 533 still is quite a good score. But in comparison to Jakob's now 654. Yeah, no, you just can't compare that. 678 transition here for Jakob. Really showing us here what he can do. So 680 for Jakob basically, and Mark is transitioning at 560, so that's over 100k lead here to Jakob in the transition. But Jakob has a few missteps here in the transition that he needs to burn through. Could be the chance for Mark to start catching up a bit. Yeah, Tetris here going to Mark. Jakob getting a 1 high Tetris here. Playing 1 high on 19 is quite doable for Roda. And one more in the chat saying, let's go Mark and Jakob. So 2 people now shining for them here. Jakob going for a left rail doesn't get the bar in time. Mark doesn't get the T-spin. Gets the 2 V-spin here. Next Tetris to Jakob on the left side. 769, 649. Jakob is now going on the standard rail once again here. And one more Tetris here going to Jakob. Yes, so both players now having clean stacks and being able to play clean Tetris here. Mark is still going for Witzes just because he's a funny guy. And Jakob is going for one more Tetris here. Double bar dependency for Mark filled in. Ooh, center's getting quite high on Mark's side. Yeah, he's starting to burn down a few lines just to make sure he's not getting too high there. Getting a Tetris and needs to burn 3 lines now. Jakob currently still 120k ahead of Mark here. And next Tetris going to Mark. Jakob is ready here based on what I can see here. Just waiting for the bar. Mark didn't get the T-piece in time, which means he needs to burn once again just a few lines here. And we can see Mark being nearly ready to go for the next Tetris. Having some inconsistencies in his stack that he needs to deal with. Yeah, Jakob is just on fire here in this game, I have to say. Yeah, Mark is troublesome. OP is not what he wanted. Ooh, getting some nice burns, but the T-piece doesn't go over to the left, which means Jakob takes game number 1. It is 1-0 for Jakob, as Jakob is close to the max out here. But yeah, Jakob just showed early on in 18 what he can do, then transitioned at about a 120k lead and just continued to keep that lead. Max out now for Jakob. Still has time for 1.1 before level 29. Looks like he is trying to go for it. Would need about 3 Tetrises for that, or like 1 Tetris and good burns. That could also do it. But I guess he's trying to go for the next Tetris here to make it easy. Yep, Tetris to Jakob. Can still get 2 more, so nearly 200k, 1.2 for Jakob that he could do before level 29, and of course 29, Jakob's journey isn't over, as we can see now 29 action by Jakob, trying to go for the 1.2 for the C. Yeah, looks like Jakob is now going the safe way here. If you play quite aggressive, you could get like a 1.4 maybe, but playing safe oftentimes makes sense, and here's the final bar for Jakob for that 1.2. Well done here, 1.2 to Jakob. And it looks like there's some fans for Jakob in the chat chanting for him. Woo! That was a strong showing here by Jakob in game number 1. And that just means for Mark in terms of mental now that he needs to find a way to get into the yes I can win state and not be too impressed by what Jakob is showing here. But yeah, they're just casually chit-chatting. Mark is quite experienced in events and tournaments, so I would say Mark is in that regards doing totally fine. But he told me earlier that he's feeling a bit not too perfect on like physical state, so maybe that does also affect him a bit. Made it to the finals and he wants to get even to the winner spot, but maybe Jakob can take it, as it looks like we are nearly ready to go for game number 2 here between these two. I get a thumbs up, so let's wait for Mark to finish his drink and do a 3, 2, 1 Tetris! Okay, the players have started similar openings, but the first LPs was placed differently, which means different stacks from now on. And of course we start having a drought, something that all finals should have, but that's a long drought. That's like 30 pieces already. You can see Jakob's board in a bit of issues. At least these players don't try to, you know, play perfect when it doesn't make any sense, but yeah, what a long drought. Finally a Tetris for Mark, so Mark getting the first Tetris. Jakob's burning and has now opened up and gets the bar into Tetris for Jakob and for Mark. Yeah, well done survival here, especially by Mark. Jakob is getting the next Tetris, so is Mark. And if you look at the Tetris percent rates, we can just see how bad they are at 61 and 78 respectively. And next Tetris going to Jakob here. And one more going to Jakob, 130 versus 103. And one more to Mark into 149, so there's like 4k difference between these two players now. It is neck and neck. Small lead to Jakob, which is now increasing as Mark is once again burned a few lines here. Closest the well again even. Not that amazing of a position for Mark, as he needs to burn more and more. And Jakob is already 2 Tetrises ahead of Mark here. The next few burns here happening on Jakob's side. And Mark needs to close the well up quite high, which just means more burning And more opportunities for Jakob to get ahead as we have once again a 30 plus piece drought. The second long drought of this game here, 37 pieces, wow. Definitely not a seed that you normally wanna play, but one you have to be able to play. Tetris just happened, and here's one more Tetris into Simul Tetris. 258 and 212, and one more to Mark and one more to Jakob here. Mark going for the delayed wits, just get a buff for the wits to show us how funny he is. And we have some more good luck and funs in the chat. As it's 304, 259, still about a 2 Tetris lead here for Jakob. Despite Mark needing to burn quite a lot of lines here sometimes. It's similar to Jakob, as you can see. Jakob also needs to burn a bit here, which is how this game is still close, as neither player can put on too much aggression here thanks to the P sets. Okay, so Mark is ready while Jakob is opening up. Oh, but Jakob is opened up now. Having a body plan in Cannon 4 though. Just as a closed, okay. Status readiness here for Jakob, waiting for the bar. 20 plus piece throughout has started. We saw multiple 30 plus, but okay. Luckily no 30 plus piece throughout for a third time here this game. Both players were able to survive it. And that means one Tetris and some change lead here for Jakob as we are at about 100 lines now. And one more person in the chat chanting for Jakob. That's like 4 now, I believe. So a lot of fans in the chat. Next Tetris to Mark, next Tetris to Jakob, bits to Mark, and Tetris to Mark as well here. 409, 402, neck and neck. Next Tetris to Jakob here. And just some cleanup on the fields as we're approaching level 19. As a roller, you don't need as clean of a board as a desk player, but you still want to try to be in a clean position. Less than 10 lines to go here. Tetris and some change lead to Jakob. And one more Tetris to Jakob here. And Mark wasn't ready for the Tetris here, so yeah, I guess he's having to burn soon. Close the well and transitions at 460. 460 transition for Mark. And 509 transition for Jakob. So about a 2 Tetris transition lead here to Jakob. Both players now in an at least mostly clean state, needing to burn a few lines now. And Jakob gets the Tetris in. Now he's gonna play one high most likely. Okay, so Mark is quite high in terms of the stack. Needs to burn down a few lines, and yep, he is managing to get started on that. Right side is a bit tougher to access, but he can tap the pieces over, which means more and more cleanup that Mark is doing. But also more that Jakob is getting ahead of Mark once again. Only already 100k lead here to Jakob. As Mark, I mean, is showing us amazing survival. But survival doesn't get you the points needed against a high-level roller such as Jakob. Yet Mark now getting the Tetris into 540 against 630 here for Jakob. Next Tetris to Mark. And if you look at the amount of lines played, Mark is ahead of Jakob here. Like 10 lines more, which is about 2 Tetrises. So it's a massive lead here that Jakob has. And of course, feel free to donate to the prize pool to motivate these players to play to the best of their abilities. Type an exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat to see the link to our prize pool. V-Tetris lead here to Jakob. Tetris going to Mark. And Grandmaster in the chat is asking why Mark isn't rolling, but based on what I can tell, He is rolling. Yeah, he is in fact rolling, so just not properly captured on stream, but don't worry, Mark is rolling here. Next set is going to Mark as well, as we have 8-50 against 7-38. 1-11 lead here to Jakob, so quite a big lead. As we are on level 26 for both players, next Tetris to both of them. And one more to Mark. Mark now on level 27. Quite a lot behind Jakob, but level 29. I would say, yeah, Mark is a bit stronger on level 29 than Jakob is. So Mark can still catch up on level 29. Oh, but Mark is getting far too higher for level 29. Yeah, even 90 is becoming troublesome, as you can see, as he didn't get the blue S piece over. Which means Mark, once again, tops out before level 29. And Jakob has a max out now. Second max out of this match going to Jakob. And next Tetris, Jakob once again trying to go for a B 1.1. Getting the 1.1 now. And also, of course, trying to go for 1.2, maybe even a 1.3. Let's see how far he can take level 29 speeds. Yeah, nice burns here that Jakob is showing us. Taking the safe way. Level 29, you generally want to play quite safe. Though aggressive. You play that more likely to stop out, but yeah, Jakob. 1.1 now happened. That means 2-0 Jakob. Potentially the last game happening next, as we have match point for Jakob. And Grandmaster in the chat saying, if Mark doesn't gift games, maybe this could be a match. Sad. I wouldn't say that Mark is gifting games. Mark told me earlier that he's not feeling too well physically, so it's most likely down to that. But I can see thumbs up, so let's start game 3 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! Potentially the last game we see between these two players. At least here at CTWC Gamescom. Yes, Mark getting the first Tetris. Jakob had quite a well on the left side, you could say. So he wasn't able to use bar in the moment, the opening, which is how Mark got ahead at that point. Yeah, now Jakob overtook Mark here. As you have a neck and neck situation, 74 and 72. Next set is going to Mark. Mark now at 95. Yeah, I would say these players are playing quite clean Tetris for now. Jakob also getting the spin here. Nice. 123, 99. Again, this is game 3-2-0 for Jakob. If Jakob manages to win this game, he will be the winner of CTWC Gamescom and, for example, receive the prize pool of 500 euros, which has been kindly sponsored by Mod Retro. So make sure to check out the Mod Retro consoles and cables. 215, 169. A Tetris lead to Jakob, and Jakob even now doing the hey now. So Kingsman, if you're still here, somebody is still thinking about you, no matter what he's doing. And that one is Jakob. Yeah, small SD burst here for these players. Mark was able to use them properly. Jakob wasn't. is why Jakob had to burn a few lines here. And okay, gets the bar nice. I would say it's a bit of a dependency. Didn't matter too much, as he just got the next Tetris in. Jakob also has a bit of a J dependency. Now L dependency. Well done with the pieces. And next Tetris to Jakob. Mark is waiting for the bar, but he closed just before it. 312, 270. So about a 2 Tetris lead here for Jakob in game number 3. So a bit of a tough situation here for Mark, being down 2 games, being down 2 Tetrises. He does need to find a way to catch up, optimally before level 19. But even if it is on level 19, it's totally fine. Okay, so he's getting the next Tetris, 2.5 Tetris lead for Jakob, which is like 50-60k. Yeah, 58. And next Tetris is going to Jakob as Mark. I mean, Mark isn't really making any mistakes yet, it's just that Jakob finds a way to play that bit more efficient, which is all the difference here between these two players. And next Tetris to Jakob, next Tetris to Mark. 453, 396. 2.5 Tetris lead to Jakob still. Next Tetris going to Mark. Jakob managing to not get closed here, so well played so far by Jakob. Jakob was really just showing us what a rotor can do. Of course, he still needs to burn and stuff like that, but in general, you're not struggling at all here. Using the pieces I just said as Jakob is getting higher. But this side as a rotor is still reasonably playable. He's getting out of that like it's nothing, so well done here so far by Jakob. As Mark also was able to use this to catch up a bit to Jakob. And of course, just as I said that Jakob got the next Tetris, so there's that. And Jakob is cleaned up open once again. Which means he's now waiting for the next bar, which falls down. Tetris to Mark, Tetris to Jakob. At similar lines now, 1.5 Tetris lead, I would say, in terms of pace, as Mark has played 3 lines less. And we are basically in the transition. Just 1 line to go for Jakob and 4 lines to go for Mark. 585 transition for Jakob and 542 transition for Mark. So yeah, nearly a 2 Tetris lead here in the transition for Jakob. Next Tetris to Jakob once again. And 1 next Tetris to Mark here. Pretty clean transitions here for these players, just Jakob was burning a bit. That JP's on Jakob's side could be quite dangerous here. Yeah, it looks like that's it. Oh yeah, that's it for Jakob. He doesn't get the pieces to where they need to be. So Mark needs to chase down a bit over half a Tetris. Mark needs 621, 621 as Mark's goal. And let's hope that his deck won't escalate here. Okay, he's getting a few burns in. Good double here for Mark. Good bar. Nice. No, the price. Okay, still under control back again. Good double here for Mark. That looked far too dangerous here for a second. Needs something for the left side. Is going for a single. He doesn't need that much, but that pink S piece on the left side. Okay, OP's going over. Oh no, but the next pink S piece. That's it for Mark. Mark tops out. And Jakob sweets Mark, winning this game by like 7,000 points. Huge GG's to Jakob for this performance, for being able to sweep in the finals at the CTWC Gamescom. Huge GG's. And congratulations to Jakob for winning and to Mark for the second place, being the runner-up here in this amazing event. So yeah, huge GG's. And you can see how happy Jakob is here as he is jumping up and all of us are clapping. And there's a bit of a chance starting for Jakob, I believe. Okay, but it didn't take off. But yeah. Huge GG's, and I'm not sure what the plan is. I believe the plan now is to do a bit of an interview. Let me get ready for the interview. I take the headset off and yeah. We're now gonna pass set just as we did earlier, you might remember. When we did this in the yodeling. So yeah, I'm waiting for the players to be here for an interview. I'm not sure who will be going here or if anyone will at all. I can just see that Maurice, the main organizer, is coming over. And so is G and Rain. So I guess hello to G and Rain. Congratulations to your performance here at the event. You're in the top 4 of the CTWC Gamescom. Is there anything you want to say to the people on stream and on location?
You're all awesome, and so much love for you for being here, watching us fuck up and play amazing Tetris. So we wouldn't be anything without you. Thank you so much.
That was some amazing words. So normally I would ask players about their performance in the tournament, but I know that you are the tech guy here and you set up all of the streams. So how was it to set up the stream for CTWC Gamescom this year?
Well, I didn't understand the question. I'm sorry. What did you say?
How was it to set up the stream for CTWC
Yeah.
Gamescom?
It was a lot of fun. We like improvised most of the backend on the way here in the train, which is a lot of fun. But I'm just happy it worked. Nothing major broke. Everything worked fine, more or less. So I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it turned out well.
Happy to hear that, and yeah, I would say it worked amazingly well. I also just saw that there was a chant happening for Jakob. Yeah.
It's a very emotional final. I mean, it's the first year Jakob got it. He like choked the last 2 years. I'm just so fucking happy for him. It's about time. Jesus. They need a minute, but they will hear. What a final. I mean, yeah, it maybe on paper wasn't that great, like numbers wise, but the emotions and the skill on the playing field, Jesus.
I do agree, and I would say that was a nice quick interview. I mean, I guess I'm doing 4 in a row. I have absolutely no idea, but I guess Shuichi could come over next. So, Mr. Sushi, if you wanna come over, feel free to. And
Yeah, we're a semi-final fuck-up duo. We bonded over it and cheered us up. It was hard for him. It was hard for him.
if you bonded over it, maybe you should do the interview then.
Huh?
If you bonded over it, maybe then you should do the interview with Shuichi.
Of course.
Do you want to?
So, me? No, I'm sorry, no.
Okay. But then I would say, welcome to Shuichi. Actually, the first question is, Mr. Sushi or Shuichi? How should we call you from now on?
Call me whatever you like, I don't care. I mean, it's just a name I wanted to use for this tournament specifically. But yeah, you can call me Shuichi for now. Because I don't have Yoshi yet right now.
Okay, so now you're Shuichi, with the Yoshi, you are Sushi.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Perfect. You played against the winner, Jakob, in the semifinals. Would you say that he was the toughest opponent you could have faced?
In this tournament, yes, because I only faced 2 and I won against my first one, but yeah, honestly, I can't even say if I had actually a chance because I already topped out pretty much every game, so it was all my fault. I mean, I think it was due to my nerves because I'm pretty bad with them. I usually get very nervous when I enter any match, but yeah, that's just how it is now.
Is there anything that you wanna do for the next tournament to improve your nerves?
I need to practice a lot more with practice matches, I guess. I just ask some players if they want to play with me, and then we are gonna do some practice matches. Like Vice Pro, who was also in the chat here. Thank you for the jinx, by the way. I'm gonna train with him, especially because the CTWC Poland is coming like in 2 weeks or so, and we are gonna attend it.
Then lots of luck here, and you heard it here first. If you wanna have some nice matches, feel free to challenge Shuichi basically whenever you want. He wants as many matches as possible.
I didn't understand anything. Sorry.
I just said if you wanna have some matches, and like to the viewers in chat, feel free to challenge Shuichi. You wanna play matches whenever possible.
Yeah, feel free to challenge me. Just ping me or DM me. I'm up for some practice matches.
Okay, perfect. And I see that Mark is lined up, so I guess this is gonna be interview 3. So thanks to Shuichi for the interview, and let's come over to Mark as we have like interview with our runner-up Mark. So first of all, congratulations to second place. You faced off against Jakob. Would you say that your match was how you expected to perform, or were there some kind of issues with your health? I believe you told me this morning.
The result was not how I expected it. Of course, I wanted to win, but I was a little ill the days before, but not anymore. So I have no excuse. Like everyone is telling me, "Oh, you have a nice excuse," and I'm like, "No, I don't have an excuse. I'm not ill anymore."
Okay, then sounds like I misunderstood you. I guess your plan is also to just train more?
Choke less and train more.
I mean, that sounds like quite an expected answer. Oh, and I also see that there is some fun gifts here being prepared by Maurice, because we have... I mean, I believe this is for the winner, so sadly not you.
No, das ist second place. No.
Is it?
Maurice.
Okay, Maurice, zweiter Platz. Is this second place? Oh, I apologize. This is second place. So huge congratulations to Mark for the second place. And some amazing retro chromatic parts. The cameras over here. Yes, you have the extra chromatic, the Game Boy, you could say. This is getting quite close. And we also have the new link cable, as you know, if you want to play against each other. The link cable, and that is now available by Madrid. So huge congratulations to Mark for performing this well at the CTWC Gamescom. Is there anything you want to tell the viewers on location or online?
Hi.
Okay, and with that, I guess we will welcome in Jakob, the winner. Once again, a bit of applause for Mark and for Jakob here. Test. Oh. I pressed the button that used me an accident. Okay, no, so... first of all, huge congratulations for winning the CTWC Gamescom. Is there anything you want to tell our amazing viewers?
What was the question? Sorry, I'm still a bit flattered. Sorry.
I just asked, is there anything you want to tell our amazing viewers?
I've been doing this for like 6 years now. My first tournament was Gamescom 2019. I came in with a 400,000 PB or something like that. Jonas was here casting. And well, I dropped in round 1, 0-2 to Giant. And I feel like... I can hold it if you want. Okay. And I feel like 6 years later, it's so nice to see almost all faces back together here. And that we still share this passion. It feels like a meetup of a lot of old friends. Like, just doing still the same thing, just having fun, just playing some block games. And I'm so happy that especially this tournament is the first regional win for me ever.
Congratulations on that. And you said that you play for fun, but in this tournament you won a prize pool of 500 euros, sponsored by Madretto. So huge shout outs to Madretto and the amazing sponsorship for this event. I guess with that money you plan on competing in the CTWC Open World Championship in the United States, I believe, in June next year, aren't you?
What's their question? I'm sorry.
You plan on competing next year in the CTWC, aren't you?
Oh, if I want to participate, I'd like to. Sure. I mean, it would be the third time for me. I haven't made the gold brackets yet, but there's still a thing left to do.
So you can definitely make the gold bracket next year after your performance here. I don't really have any questions prepared because I didn't expect 4 interviews in a row, I have to admit. But yeah, I would say huge thanks for being here, huge thanks for being such an amazing player, caster, and person in general. I would say the whole community loves you.
That's too a lot of... I didn't deserve that lot of humble, but thanks a lot. And can I have some shoutouts real quick? Just one shout out to my fiancé. I love you a lot, and thanks for being with me all the time.
Talking about shoutouts, I guess we have now finished the tournament. We want to do the shoutouts for our amazing crew here on location.
Oh, what?
Do you want to do the shoutout for our crew here on location? Because I've talked so much. Yeah, like I mean the organizers and all of us.
Oh yeah, sure. Now I have to work as well, right? Yeah, thank you, Gamescom. Thank you, Mod Retro. Thank you. It was Game History Museum, I believe. Yeah, it was. Thank you very much for hosting us today. We had such a fun tournament. Thank you to all the players. Thank you to Mod Retro for the awesome prizes. Thank you to everyone who donated to the Matcherino. Thank you to everyone who watched from home. And boom, Tetris for you.
And of course, also shoutouts to Maurice, the main organizer. Of course, also shoutouts to...
Please, big applause for Maurice, please.
Applause for Maurice, exactly. Also, shoutouts to Gihi, also known as Tobias, for organizing a lot of the, let's say, smaller prizes, like every player got a player back. So shoutouts to Gihi, Tobias. Woo! Shoutouts to G and Rain for doing the stream. Woo! Shoutouts to Nizuna and Jakub for being the referees here. And shoutouts to the rest of the Game History Museum. It was exactly called. I didn't want to make a mistake there, but shoutouts to the rest of them for being part of the crew. I hope I didn't forget anyone.
And please a round of applause to the voice of the stream, Jakob, for commentating all afternoon. Thanks a lot.
As always, you're welcome and it's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, with that, I'd say the stream is now over. We had a lot of fun time, a lot of amazing and action-rich time. And for the viewers here on location, please enjoy the rest of the Gamescom 2025. And we will see each other again next year on Saturday for the CTWC Gamescom 2026.
29th of August 2026.
Oh, you know the date already. Yeah. Perfect. I did. So thanks for the date confirmation. That I would say we can enjoy some yodeling. You know, the Tetris yodel, it's just too good.
Yeah.
Test, test, test. Okay, this looks or sounds, I should say, good. And that means we are basically ready for the prize ceremony for everyone except the top two. The top two already got it earlier in the interviews. But just to make sure that everyone sees it, we will give it again. You know, it's like the proper prize ceremony, basically. And just to have it, let's also start a recording. Okay, so let's see how they're doing over there. I mean, we can see parts of that on stream, not fully, but at least parts. Which is much, much better than nothing, I'd say. But yeah, that means we are, let's say, more or less ready to go. Oh yeah, and yes, we are gonna stream the prize ceremony. We are just waiting. We're ready to go, so I guess first up is Jakob, the winner of the CTWC Gamescom. And huge congratulations to him. He's getting 500 euros of prize money from Mod Retro, as well as a nice medal and some small, I don't know what that is, glass? Award? Yeah, he's getting some kind of award. I don't know what for sure. Oh, it's a glass. It's a glass for like to drink. A Japanese Ichiban. It's so like whiskey, stuff like that. Shot glass. And then our second place, Mark. Woo! And there's Mark. Mark, as you saw before, is getting also amazing stuff from our main sponsor, Mod Retro. Huge shoutouts to Mod Retro and the Mod Retro Chromatic for sponsoring us. So yeah, Mark, feel free to get your Mod Retro Chromatic and link cable and second place medal. And then we have our combined third, fourth place, which means next up is Tien Rain and Shuichi. Feel free to beat them in whatever order you want to, or together even. Yeah, and there's Tien Rain and Shuichi, who made place 3-4 together. So made it to the semifinals. They also get some nice extras and prizes. Thanks to My Arcade for providing these small consoles. They are mini arcade consoles basically, and amazing fun to go. Of course, they do include Tetris, an official Tetris product. So huge thanks to My Arcade. And then we also have Place 5 Giant, who is also getting a My Arcade retro console. Then we have Play 6 Dr. Knockers, who is getting a cappy and a mousepad. Then we also have Maurice. So, Play 7 Maurice is currently not available, so we'll get it to him later. And then we have Place 8 Jeffrey. Is Jeffrey here? Yes, yes, perfect. And Jeffrey is getting one of these Lego figurines. So congratulations to our top 8. And yeah, sure, let's get together for a group photo. So that we can take the best group photo possible. I'm just gonna take one from behind here, and others will gonna take a good one. But I also want one for myself, so I'm gonna take a bad one. And someone from the Game History Museum took proper photos. And also, of course, for the stream, everyone is looking into the camera, so we love all of you. Huge shoutouts and GGs to the top 8. And Maurice, the organizer Maurice. Huge thanks to you. Yeah, with that we will end the stream. Huge thanks to all of you who were here. It was lovely to meet all of you. And thanks for watching, thanks for playing. See you again next year, CTWC Gamescom on Saturday, 29th of August. Goodbye.
One of the best retro handhelds of
New
the year.
technology in an old school
Everything
console.
about this, I absolutely love.
It's a passion project and it shows.
chromatic.
Chromatic. Chromatic. Chromatic. Chromatic.